Hi, welcome to Pause on Purpose, and we're finishing up this great week on liberty and courage. And all this week, we're talking about founding fathers and those that signed the Declaration of Independence. And today, we're finishing up the week with a little bit of a surprise. Hopefully, it's not too big of a surprise, but we're talking about Lewis Morris, but more specifically, his wife, who her maiden name was Mary Walton. And Mary Walton was the mother of 10 of Lewis Morris's children. And during the war, Lewis Morris lost everything within about 2 months after signing the Declaration of Independence. Now imagine that, losing everything. Talk about feelings of rue or remorse. 2 months, they lost everything. And it was so bad that Mary Walton, his wife, she never recovered in her health. She died in prison that the British, they held her captive because they couldn't find him. So they held her captive and she ended up dying because of failing health. She left behind 10 children and her husband. I can't imagine the sacrifice that these people went through. Now, why do I bring up Mary? She didn't sign the Declaration of Independence, but she knew what her husband was getting into and supported him emphatically. In fact, she supported him to the point where she would rather die in prison than give up information of where he might be located. Imagine that. What a great gal. And so it reminds me of the same gals who followed Jesus. In Luke chapter 8, see if you recognize some of these names. And then there's one there, like Mary Walton, I'm sure you don't recognize. But notice who this gal is. I'm in Luke 8 and verse 2 and 3. There were also women who had been healed of sicknesses and evil spirits. Mary called Magdalene, we know her, from whom 7 demons had gone out. Joanna, the wife of Chuza, the manager of Herod's house. Wait a minute, screech the brakes on that one. Joanna, the wife of Chuza. Chuza was the manager or steward of Herod's household. Can you say dignitary? Can you say politician? Can you say someone that was getting paid by the Roman government when it was becoming known that Jesus was a prominent leader and the Jewish people did not like him? And you remember, Rome was in charge and they ruled with an iron fist. And the last thing they wanted was an uprising. And Judea was known for political uprisings. They knew about the Maccabees some 400 years, previous. They knew about that 400 years in between the Testament period and the Maccabees and the revolt they did. And they didn't want that again. So anytime there was a, quote, rabble rouser, which Jesus was appearing to be, even though we know he was a man of peace, he was being falsely labeled as a rabble rouser. Rome was keeping their eye on him. And here's this gal, the wife of Chuza, who's using the coin of Rome's bank account to support the ministry of Jesus. You talk about risk. You talk about putting your fortune and your position up. I mean, can you imagine the husband going through the checkbook and going, honey, what do you do? Where did this check go? Who's Jesus? Is this the same guy? I'm hearing about him. I don't think so. And the wife's going, I think so. We're going to support him. And she was in Luke's gospel as someone that bankrolled Jesus's ministry. Powerful woman. Gotta love it. And so today, remember Mary Walton, Lewis Morris's wife, mother of 10 children, supported her husband, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. But also remember Joanna, the wife of Chuza, who, because of her faith, stepped out in courage and supported the ministry of Jesus Christ. How about you? Does it take courage to financially support your cause, your church? Go with God, because he goes with you.